Must be Linda.
It is. Hello, hello, hello.
How are you?
I don't know. How are you?
Good.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Oh.
Yeah. How are you?
I'm very well, actually.
Good.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Fabulous. Yeah. Did you have a good break?
Yeah, for the most part.
Okay.
Very quiet. We,
Sometimes quiet is good.
yep, we didn't have anybody visiting or anything, so,
Oh, wow.
and that was just as well. Just because I've already told Joanne, Carol, Carol's husband had, a few days ago, very serious cancer surgery. It was a 6 to 8 hour surgery. He's apparently doing well with his recovery,
Okay.
but she had asked me not to share that information until a couple of days ago. So
Okay.
just to let you know, she's probably not going to be here today. She's I don't. She won't be here. I don't think she'll be online either. She's still staying at a hotel in Hartford because he's at Hartford Hospital.
Okay. Okay.
So
Oh.
that's one part of my news. The other part is also Joanne's also heard this already. I have run into a problem about uploading the videos. Google took over logging in on YouTube and accepted everything until they said I had to enter a email address for recovery, and I only have one email, so I entered it, and they said, no, you can't enter the same email for both, and blocked me out.
Oh.
So I think I have to call. And,
Yeah. Yeah.
weird, just
Yeah.
kind of weird.
There's somebody sitting outside looking in the window, so I'm going to go see if Monkey wants to come in.
Oh, he probably does.
Come on, you want to come in? You want to come in? Yeah, there you go. There you go.
That's interesting that he's learned to sit by the window. Almost every class the last few days has been letting him in.
Well, he's got to be part of the class.
Absolutely. Good morning, Joanne.
Good morning, David.
Good morning, Jen.
How are you this
Oh,
morning?
I wish it was a good morning, but anyway,
Yeah, you
news
sound.
just keeps getting worse.
What?
The news keeps getting worse, and I had to deal with sending out an email this morning. So
Oh,
trying to
yes.
respond to Venezuela and Minneapolis and everything else.
Yep. Yep. Boy,
So I need
we
to be here.
we completely understand. Believe me.
Yes, yes, I know. We all do. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't.
Morning, Linda.
Good morning, Joanne. I didn't bother.
How are the
you.
roads? Not too icy?
No, they were actually pretty good.
Sun's out, right? Yeah, sun's pretty strong.
Yeah, and it's actually warm enough that, and they salted everything or sanded it.
Yep.
So yeah, but I ran into a lot
That's
of
safe.
school
Good.
buses because I think they had a delay this morning. I think. I'm
Oh,
guessing.
maybe. Okay. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. It looked pretty icy early today, but yeah.
9 o'clock, and I'm running into all these school buses. It must be they must
Oh,
have been a delay today. So
Yeah.
right. That's it. Yeah. Yeah.
Ah, well.
It happens. It's New England.
and it's
Yes.
a gorgeous sunny day out there.
Yeah, and it's actually we're going into a warm period here. It's kind of
They say, yeah.
so. Are we ready to go?
Yes.
So any reports, requests, questions? Were you able to practice a little over the holidays?
Actually, quite a lot over the holidays.
Oh, good.
It was good. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. One thing I have a request, if you could watch my 1 into 2, because I'm trying to, I got so, I must have really liked that energy feeling of the feeling of forward coming up on 1, where my weight was forward, and so trying to retrain myself with the weight on the heels, it feels kind of, it just doesn't feel right. And so I'm not sure if there's something that I'm doing with that.
Having done it with the weight forward, I'm sure it did give you a strong sense of rising energy, because that's what that will do.
Yeah.
But the intention is that you will actually have energy going in both directions, and you need to establish that root as you're going into this practice. And then the shift to your toes on 2 then lets you really get the strength of that rising energy.
Maybe that's what I'm feeling, because it's just different.
Yeah, it is.
And yeah,
It is.
maybe, okay. But if you wouldn't mind just put some eyes on that specifically.
I can do that. I can do
just
that.
Just to make sure that it's going correctly, because it just doesn't.
Well, it is, admittedly, it's a little counterintuitive to shift back on 1. I understand. Yeah. Anything for you, Joanne?
I described yesterday, my hip's been bothering me, so I've kind of turned to the readings and that inner work. And I really did find the notes, the many pages of notes on inner dissolving and kind of becoming aware of the blockages, just really helpful. Just kind of rereading that, kind of like what I was saying yesterday, just kind of trying to really internalize and grasp things that are not that easy when they first get introduced.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't. So I would like you to do 10 reps of heaven and earth, and it can be done seated.
Yeah. I try to do it standing, but I won't be able to bend much. I did try more quad squat last night. I just need to be a little careful of that hip. So
Okay. Well, whatever works for you. So don't create pain.
no, I won't. Yeah. I do think I'd like to try it standing though. So
Okay.
but if I sit, I sit. So
Nope, that's fine.
Okay.
Would you mind turning sideways to me? So
Sure.
Good.
Like so?
suggest you pause a moment. So, I'm feeling that as you begin, that you don't know what you're doing when you begin.
Probably true.
So this is actually beginning to pull everything in, and so what I'm feeling is it seemed just kind of unintentional, and so you're twisting and bending, and then when you begin to move, when you go to the heels, that's what moves the arms. That begins the extension. And you want to have that intention to extend, 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 extend all the way through to here.
Okay.
And then closing, 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 opening, opening.
Okay. Yeah, because that opening is more like, okay, we're just getting ready.
Yeah.
But it's got more intention to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess one of the things I would also say to work on, it's kind of a tough one. This is one of the things that we work on in Heaven and Earth is how do you make those transitions without them being
Two into three, I feel, is square, very square.
and to me that's a really easy one.
Yeah.
So part of it is I don't feel like you are continuing to extend through two.
Okay.
As you come up here, there is a sense at this point that instead of continuing to extend, that there is kind of a relaxation into it.
Okay.
And the difficulty here is that that's a movement where you can overextend very easily.
Okay.
So also recognizing that when you get to the end of one, that you aren't at the end of your extension. That's as far as you're going to go with one, but one and two are really just a part of the same movement.
Okay.
And then you go to here, and one of the things, I'm not going to go heavily into this at the moment, but in opening and closing, really looking at opening and closing the gates and the cavities, one of the difficult things that we started working on in the Tuesday class, as a matter of fact, is opening and closing the ribs. And the ribs have three ways that they do that. There are three parts that are constantly going on. But one of the major ones is that the attachment of the ribs to the sternum open and close horizontally. And if you can think about that movement when you go here, that's what's happening, is that sternum is opening. Well, there are lots of other things opening also, but there's really you really need that sense of that opening there to help you open without overextending,
Okay.
doing too much or too little.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And then that movement into three, what will really help you there is keeping the twisting continually going. Notice that my arms haven't stopped turning in.
Mm-hmm.
They're turning in all the way through, and here they begin to turn in that other direction, but they don't stop turning.
Okay.
And when you get to here, well, that transition isn't bad. You do, actually, you're getting that transition pretty well. So,
Okay.
there's a lot to work on there.
Okay.
Joanne, I apologize in a way. I'm
That's okay.
on Linda.
Well, and I realize I have done this before, Linda, so I think that, yeah, I've
Yeah, and
had more opportunity to be corrected.
and you already looked at the ribs opening and closing.
Yes. Yeah, I just do want to observe for myself that, yeah, I feel like for a while I was just worried about my hands and how far I was bending on 7. And now, even though I've had to adjust a little bit of that for my back, I really feel the energy coming up my back and over my head now. So
Oh, good.
I can really feel a difference. So
Great.
yeah.
Good. So we're going to continue this um, exploration into inner space, really in the sense of discovering the inner space. So I really want to, we're going to focus on that because that's really the next step of awareness. You may need to continue doing outer dissolving for a while before you begin inner dissolving, but we need to at least begin to explore that, so you have some idea of when we begin to look at that. And it's like quite a bit of what we do is we give it a lot of words, but the words cannot replace the feeling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, so we begin to look at discovering inner space. So, the body is like a great hologram. It stores everything everywhere. Not just one thing in one place and something else in some other place. And as a result, when you think you have gotten rid of something, you may have gotten rid of its present irritant, but you probably haven't gotten rid of it everywhere that it is linked. So it will rise again. And with very deep stuff, emotions or thoughts, if you don't get rid of all of the streams that feed it, you can then get a major blow up from whatever it is, particularly bothering you. And when these streams start to build up, you're right back to where you started from. So you have to clear the causes, not just the symptoms. So we are inclined to think that if we can clear something, that now we are through with it. Well, I wish it was that easy. So as we begin to think about meditation, the question becomes, how much is behind what you are conscious of? So recently, there was a story about a woman who was a neuroscientist who had a stroke. And because of her training, she understood what was happening to her and could observe and report on it. And her stroke was unusual as subsidiary pathways opened up. So she was able to do this. She realized that her left brain was cut off. She stopped judging what was right or wrong. In our terms, she stopped having yin and yang judgments. So the yin-yang bounce just stopped. So the constant bounce of thoughts from one to the other stopped. And when she went to the right brain, she felt peace and joy and bliss, and everything was great. She understood that her left brain had stopped working. So she wasn't experiencing the fingernails on the blackboard that usually occurs from that part of the brain. So think of your anxiety or fear or an excessive thought. what happens is your mind gets locked into something that is yin or a yang. And it doesn't matter what the which what the two ends of the pole are. And once you begin oscillating back and forth between the two of them fast enough, it just begins to become uncomfortable and then downright miserable. So it's not too bad when it goes slowly, boom, boom, but when you start going blindingly fast, your nervous system can't adjust to it. And when they oscillate fast enough, there is no peace of mind. Now, when you get to your right brain, yes, there is a sense of peace to be found there, but you have no interest in thinking. You have no interest in yin and yang now. And if you take this to the extreme, you will be like the yoga in India. They just sit and have this look in their eyes like like Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. They're completely spaced out to the point where someone else has to do everything to take care of them, including feeding them. They are considered to be very holy. They are in absolute, total bliss. But looked at in another way, they are catatonic. They are totally in the right brain. Now, there are phrases in Buddhism and Taoism about being awake. The Buddhists say, if you can stay awake for the time it takes an ant to walk from the bridge of your nose to the tip of your nose, you would be enlightened. And the Taoists say, if you can stay completely awake and watch a leaf from the time it leaves the tree until it drops and actually touches the ground, you are totally awake. So you say, I only have to stay awake for a few seconds or a minute. What's the big deal? Well, you have to start by asking what they mean by being awake. And at one level, all thought is equal. It doesn't matter what the thought is. The difference is that some thoughts hit your physiology and they hit the real depth of your mind. If one is physically awake, and maybe you have no idea the things you can perceive. We are talking about sensitivity. At the other extreme, there are actually people who cannot feel their bodies at all. For all they know, they do not have one. They do not have any connection to what they are feeling inside their body. Now, lots of people have difficulty feeling what is going on inside their body. But this is the extreme. Now in meditation, when we talk about ice to water, it is the process of relaxation. In order to be able to relax, you have to feel your body. If you can't feel your body, you will have absolutely no way of knowing if it is occurring or not. And if you can't feel your body that well, which in Taoism is the route to becoming really awake, then you are left with something else. So relaxation tends to be an oscillating experience. You get relaxed, you get tense. You get relaxed, you get tensed. You get relaxed and you get tensed. Now if you practice an enormous amount of Tai Chi, you might make relaxation fairly normal. But if you don't have any way of knowing if you are relaxed or not, you can't become really awake. So if you can't feel your body, you can't feel your nervous system. And it's very hard if you are unable to feel it, to know if your nervous system is releasing. So just as someone who is hypersensitive and feels too much, they think that every tiny thing is directed at them and they freak out. Everything falls apart. If you can't feel, you can't relax. Now, thinking about thoughts, we can produce a conscious thought somewhere between every 50 seconds or every 50 milliseconds. So think about that. Can you consciously monitor your thoughts if they are occurring in front of you in fractions of seconds? You can take a big thought and watch it. But usually, according to our neuroscientists, they are occurring much too fast for us to be consciously aware of them. But now, let's go back to the Buddhist and Taoist phrases. They are saying that if you are completely conscious, you could be more enlightened. So, being awake, there is conscious and unconscious mind. Where the big stuff of the bottom beneath your conscious mind is located. In Taoism, there is a phrase referring to this: the outside and inside combined. From the point of view of the conscious mind, it's a terminal. In the unconscious mind, who knows how fast thoughts move? So, in a second, you have all these thoughts. If you want to go from water to inner space, if you want to go from relaxing to letting go of something, you have a fairly long period after the point that you institute relaxation, to hold on to that and let the contraction of these thoughts open up. Maybe it's 20 a second, or 50 seconds, or 50 a second. That's a lot of sensitivity. It's not a question of whether you can recognize them all or not. The problem is distraction. How do you stay connected and recognize how each conscious thought connects to the next and the next and the next, and you flow into the stream without being distracted. Now, at a certain point, when the stream gets long enough, the binding thought, be it anxiety, fear, or another emotion, or even just fuzzy thinking, or something that comes up in your mind, including incredible discomfort or tension inside of you. You might think, this doesn't make sense, but it does, because everything inside of you is connected. It's linked to everything else. So thought will cause stuff to happen inside your body, and your brain and your body are linked. So even our scientists can now agree on that. How they are linked is an ongoing study. So I'd like you to sit. Make sure you're in a good structure. And breathe. And let yourself become as present and aware as you can. Just let your mind go as quiet as possible. Use any way you have to shut off your analytic mind. And think about something that really bothers you. no matter what it is. I don't particularly want you to be uncomfortable, but be uncomfortable for a bit. Actually, you're probably going through whatever it is all the time, and that you may not be conscious of it. And just watch the sensations you get of any kind. Maybe a sense of something shifting inside you. Whatever it is. There are a million ways they can shift. Every time there is a shift, you're having a thought. Your brain just doesn't shut off. Just follow the thoughts. In a minute, I'm going to clap my hands at a speed that almost guarantees you're having a thought with each clap. And just recognize your thoughts and keep following them. Don't try to interpret them. And between each of these thoughts, try to continue ice to water. And just relax with a space between the impulses, the thoughts. Try to recognize each thought as it comes up. just relax and rest for a moment. In order to do what we just tried, you had to be present to what was happening to you. Not easy to do, as we know. And if you think about it, anxiety or real anger or fear causes a response in the body, like fingernails on a blackboard. It can cause you to explode or implode. It doesn't really matter, because once the oscillations get strong enough, it's basically the same mechanism. And what is the mechanism? When the mind becomes fixed on something, it has two natural tendencies. One is to keep churning it further and forever. The other is that as soon as it is a little uncomfortable, it jumps to the next thing. And then as soon as it does, it tends to jump back and forth and back and forth. In Buddhism, the monkey mind, or in Taoism, the bucking horse mind. Now, while people are usually aware that they have a yin and yang, the content is unimportant. They are unaware that what they are focused on, once the other is completely active in their unconscious mind, they recognize that where they are is uncomfortable and jump to somewhere else. The problem is that doesn't get you rid of the problem. It actually escalates and causes what is in your unconscious mind to get stronger and stronger, even to the point of driving people into mental institutions. But you don't have to go to the extreme. When the mind oscillates between two extremes, it can never reset. One is even in a state of hyperagitation. If it goes far enough and the brain becomes powerfully hyper-aware and active, then it starts telling every move in your body to send out distorted messages. And then your body appropriately starts having problems. The irritants it irritates the internal organs and glands. And once they are irritated enough, they feel back to your nerves and back to your brain, and the cycle grows and continues. Now, when you go through this kind of meditation, or education that you get at Oxford, you become very present to your mind, but it is external. Your mind is trained but doesn't help one to have better emotions or a smooth mind. In terms of the quality of your human life, it, it isn't necessarily going to help because it is external. Do you live ten feet away from your body? You have you live with whatever your internal ongoing experiences are. You might do better intellectual work than Einstein and still be crazy. If everything is extremely focused, what difference will it really make to you if the wall falls down, and will it really make a difference in your life? Presuming you are out presuming you are out from under it, will being extremely focused help you when you wake up at 3 a.m. in the morning thinking about your personal relationships or what is happening inside you? When you are awake, you are left with whatever is inside you. You have whatever is happening inside you, and it's all you are ever going to get. So the question is, what's going on inside you? Now, what if you put the same amount of attention and effort that one would expend getting a degree from Harvard or Oxford, and focused it on what is happening inside you, and started looking at how to make what is happening inside you work as well as your intellectual work. Now we're looking at meditation. It's a different university problem. It has to do with what essentially your life is going to be. If you have a choice between being happy or successful, choose happy. Successful doesn't mean much when you are dead. Meditation is about learning how to turn your intellectual discipline inward to what is your essential reality, your condition. It doesn't matter what wonderful places you are. You're still there. If what is inside you is fine, you will enjoy the trip. But if it is not, if what is inside you is tearing you apart, you won't enjoy it a lot because you cannot escape yourself. All you have is the experience of your life. And we will continue this next time. So, thoughts or questions? Okay. Well, I hope the world smooths out. Thank you.
There was one thing I was that brought to mind. which I'll have to go back and look at this, but it's writing by Thich Nhat Hanh about kind of the role of venting, and that people think venting is kind of releasing this anxiety and this worry, and really it's just giving it more energy.
Yep. Good thing to remember.
It is, especially in the midst of all of this, as I hear a lot of venting, as if somehow that will change things. No.
We can only do our best.
Well, right. And venting is not, just repeating it or saying it louder.
Yeah.
Whatever frustration we have, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Or fear or anxiety. So, yeah,
There's a
no.
real difference between acknowledging and venting.
Yes. Very much so.
Right. Right. And not, there's something at some point, we were just talking about, we spin it around in our minds, right? So,
Yep. Yep. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Good luck with what you're dealing with.
well, it's just Venezuela, ICE, Minneapolis,
Yeah.
the little things in the
Those
world.
little things.
I mean, it all gets back to the same root of, nonviolence, anti-militarism. I mean, it all springs from the same bad place. And the solutions are all in the same good place, but easier said than done at times.
For sure.
Right? For sure.
See you
Anyway.
all next week.
Yes. Take care.
Yep.
We hope things are okay with Carol and her husband. So
I haven't heard anything else, but I will. If I hear something else, I'll let you know.
yeah, well, I let her know we're thinking about her. So
Good.
thinking about him.
Good. I'm sure she appreciated that.
Yes. Yeah. All right. Have a good week, everybody.
You too. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.